Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of a dark reaction. My name is Matt, this is Haarute Live, and here we are, episode 4. So, I'm gonna talk a little bit before we go into the actual reaction for 4, because I edited episode 3 yesterday, and I edited episode 2 last week. And while doing so, I realized some stuff. This is definitely a show. This is definitely a show, and I didn't even need to realize that. Like, I didn't even need to edit it before realizing it because I'm pretty sure I already said it. This is a show that it's almost better to watch on a second watch or third or whatever amount, just not the first one. Because this show, what it's doing is that it's showing me a ton of stuff that I don't know what any of it means, but they're showing it to me, and then it will all make sense at some point. But I'm probably not going to remember by that point. But then if I rewatch the show, I'm going to be like, oh, that's what that was. Or that's what that meant. But there's still, there's even some minor stuff that I can definitely pick on, like, while editing this first 3 episodes. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. Before anything, I have. Okay, so I was gonna actually write some notes, specifically names and relationships, because I'm pretty sure that is the number one thing that I need to actually get in my head. But I think I pretty much got everything mapped out quite nicely. I just can't remember the names specifically, but I know where everyone is placed in like a family tree. Okay, so I know who is related to who in which way. I just don't necessarily remember the names, but I remember some of the most important names. I think so. That's that. The last episode definitely helped with that, showing me a bunch of old adult characters as teenagers, and it actually cemented more importance into them, so that's why I remember a little bit better. But the one thing that I wanted to mention that I noticed while editing episode 2, not 3, 2. So, editing episode 1, I realized, so, when Eric is being tied to the electric chair, there is a song that's playing, and it wasn't You Spin Me Around Like a Record by Dead or Alive. That was the first one we heard that was, Eric was in bed. And then the song that we heard when Eric was being tied to the electric chair, I said it was a different song, but I didn't know the song, but I knew the singer. And I don't think I said it because I wasn't sure. But I was pretty sure because of her voice. And I was like, is that fucking Nena? And yes, it was. It was Nena. So, the way I found this out is that I was editing episode 2, and when they were actually like looking into the kid that showed up, the dead kid, we still don't know who it is. The dead kid dressed in 80s clothing, he actually had a Walkman playing a cassette, and that was playing the exact same song that Eric was being that was playing in the background when Eric was being tied to the electric chair. So yes. Like, there is definitely a transition between the Walkman and the chair in episode 1. It's there. It's totally there. But I thought it was like a directing choice rather than an actual thing that matters. And I'm not even sure if it matters yet. But the fact that the exact same song is the one that the kid has playing, because the policewoman, what is her name? Okay, I actually have this here. Charlotte. I think it was Charlotte. Pretty sure it's Charlotte. So the policewoman Charlotte, she was like, okay, and we found this, and she played the cassette, and it was the song, the exact same song, and it was in the exact same part of the song. So now I'm like, okay, there has to be a reason for this. And I actually got really curious, and I was like, I want to know what the lyrics to the song is, because if I was German, which I'm not, I would be able to know what the lyrics are. So it's only fair, right? So, and I didn't actually search for like dark song or whatever. I actually just searched Nena on YouTube. And I was like, okay, so definitely 99 Lawful Loans is going to be the first result. What is the second one? I clicked on that one, and it was that exact same video that was playing on the TV. And I was like, okay, it's this song. And the title of the song is, sorry for the pronunciation, Ergendwe, Ergendwa, Ergendwan, which translates roughly to somehow, someday, somewhere. Okay? And here are the lyrics to the song. In the fall through room and time towards infinity. Already we're going hard on this shit. Like, tone set. Like, no subtlety. Motes fly to the light just like you and me. Somehow, someday, the future starts somewhere. I don't wait any longer. Love is made out of courage. Don't think about it for long. We drive on fire wheels. If that's a DeLorean reference, sick. Towards the future through the night. Give me your hand, I build a castle made of sand for you. Somehow, somewhere, someday, the time is ripe for a bit of tenderness. Somehow, somewhere, someday, in the fall through room and time, he wakes from a dream. Just a short moment, then the night comes back. Okay, so there are some stuff in the lyrics to this song that we can definitely apply to some of the stuff we've seen. That said, I'm not saying that this song is like telling me what is happening, but the lyrics are definitely something. The lyrics are definitely something that is making me think of like, alright, I'm blowing this whole thing wide open. Like, it's big enough because it's a song that it doesn't actually give me an answer, but it's talking about a bunch of shit that is just giving me a ton of ideas. And that is the thing about the show. I actually said this on like a Patreon post. I was like, this show is actually as entertaining to theorize and to think about that it is to watch. Like, half of the entertainment value of the show is just watching it, and the other half is just me sitting on my chair being like, but what if? And just starting thinking about some dumb shit, because I don't know the answers yet. Like, the fact that I'm taking this long between watching each episode, like, I'm not binging it because I'm doing this. It's taking me many weeks, actually. The fact that I'm doing this is actually better, I think, with this show than with any other show that I watch, because I'm putting so much time into just thinking about anything, really. So this song definitely something. If anything, it's just not subtle. But something else I wanted to mention is that I actually. So I watched episode 3 like, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. It's been a little bit. I remember it well because I was editing yesterday, but I actually, but after watching that episode, like the next day, I had a dream, which was a weird dream. I have weird dreams sometimes, and by sometimes I mean often. Often I don't remember them, but other times I do, and I have to write them down because they're crazy. And this one dream was, in a way, it felt like it was influenced by, because you know how in dreams you feel like you know something is a fact even though it's nothing close to the reality. So in this dream I was like, oh, this is the world of dark, even though it wasn't. But in that dream I ended up, yeah, because it was in first person, I ended up going into, I'm not sure if it was even the dark age, but it was some cave shit, and then I entered a portal, and then it went to the future, and then in the future, I don't know, there were some kaiju mech battles happening in the city, and everything was blowing up. It was crazy. But the point is that gave me the thought of, this show could literally go anywhere, because this show doesn't give a shit. In episode 3, we completely changed the setting. Not completely, only like 60-50% of it. because the setting is it's the exact same town, and there is people that are the same people, but it's 30 years in the past. So the setting has changed, which got me thinking, what doesn't tell me that the setting can change again? We could go even deeper into the past, we can go even deeper into the future, and nothing guarantees me that what the future is going to be like. Because this show is set in 2019, which means that they can literally just say the world exploded, and this show is just going to be like after the apocalypse, if we go into the future, which is a completely different setting, because like this show doesn't give a shit. That's what gets me thinking of like, we can go anywhere and we can just do whatever, and the show doesn't care about being crazy like that. And the thing that I'm thinking about is that in episode 3, so okay, in episode 3 I actually didn't realize Ulrich, when he's smoking and the lights are flickering and whatever, this girl shows up, and I thought it was Charlotte, the police lady who was catching dead birds, because I was like, oh, their bodies in the future. But then it's like, no, that was actually Hannah, and he said Hannah. But since I still didn't have the names quite right, I didn't realize Hannah is Jonas's mom, and I actually thought about after the fact, after the episode, I was like, weird that Hannah didn't show up, huh? Maybe there's a reason for that. But no, she did show up. Okay, she did show up. We didn't actually get to see her very much, but she did show up to talk to Ulrich, and Hannah was like, it feels like the end of time, like the apocalypse, whatever, something like that. She was like, well, I thought it would be more, there would be more lights, or it would be more lively, something like that. And Ulrich was like, yeah, whatever. And then she asked, if you had a wish, what would you wish for? And Ulrich was like, I would wish for this town to not exist. And while I think it's the edgiest shit ever, I also think this song is really fucked up, and I also think that might come back. That might come back, because this town is something, I tell you what. So, what else? I don't know if you can tell, but I'm having a lot of fun just talking about this. I can tell that a lot of people are probably just gonna click on the description and skip ahead to the reaction. But I'm having a lot of fun just thinking about dumb bullshit here, and it's great. It's really great. So I have names here. I have like a chart. What else? Is there anything else that I want to talk about? Some wild theories, because theories can be whatever. Like theory. Okay, so I was thinking about, so in episode 1, I forgot about this. I forgot about this completely. In episode 1, what was the name of this girl? One of the girls. Was it Francisca? No, I think it was Martha. She was like, I just had a really weird deja vu, and I'm like, I was like, Groundhog Day, time loop? And I forgot. And now I'm back to it, and I'm like, time loop? We could be going time loop. We could be in a time loop. We could be in a time lock. So what I kept thinking was a theory that I came up with. I'm not even sure if I mentioned this before, because I had so many crazy theories that I don't even know which ones I've talked about and which ones they came out after the fact. But I was like, okay, time loop, time lock could be either. What if the entire city is time lock? That would be fun if the entire city is somehow going through like a 33-year time loop or some shit like that. Like, yeah, no. I started thinking other shit, but yes, like, okay, that I throw that out there. I'm just gonna keep moving. The other thing is, whenever the shockwave happens and the lights flicker and the noise happens, more specifically the noise, I was like, okay, that is the time machine or time portal or whatever. It activates and somebody travels, right? So this happened a couple of times, and we haven't actually seen what happened afterwards. So This happened in the past with Mikkel. So Mikkel went back, and then it happened again in the same day during night. Like all the birds fell and died. This happened at the end of episode 3, and Mikkel ran towards the caves because he wanted to see what the fuck was up. If he could maybe time travel back into the future. But like, if the time thing activated, then that means that somebody must have come through or left at that moment, and we didn't actually get to see that. In the future, I think that activated. Okay, so that activated. Mikkel came back, went to the past, and I think that activated like before that happened or during episode 2. At some point, it activated again, and then the hooded man walk from that cave, right? I might be wrong on that, but I think that's what happened. So yes, hooded man, definitely a time traveler. He has a mysterious vibe. It could be literally anyone. Time traveler. He has knowledge. He might be doing it voluntarily. He definitely is. Could be from the future. Could be from the past. Could be from a different dimension. We could go into alternate timelines, which is something that I'm thinking about because we had 2 Erics. I don't forget about that shit. We had 2 Erics being tied to 2 electric chairs, 2 different backgrounds. So we could go into alternate timelines, for sure. So Furious, alternate timelines, multiple realities, time loop, time lock, town time lock. That's really funny. It's all a dream. That's the shittiest conclusion, but it's always there. It's always on the table. When all else fails, it could just be it's all a dream. Because the other thing is that Jonas keeps having his ears bleeding, and he also keeps waking up from nightmares. And we can actually see what he's dreaming about, apparently. So that's something. The other thing is that I've been told that this show, whatever this show shows me, has meaning. And like there is a reason for it. And I'm just thinking about that one time that Jonas went into like Michael's like room or whatever and had a bunch of paintings. I don't know what any of those are, but we actually got to see them. So I'm thinking that like those probably mean something, but I don't remember them. So maybe I should go back and watch those and see those paintings and see if I can, like, I don't know, remember them. But fuck it. We're just gonna move on. I'll probably do that or not if I forget, like I did with writing notes. But fuck it. I think that's over. I think that's done. And if it's not done, then fuck it. We're moving along anyway, because I've been talking about dumb bullshit for like 20 minutes now. And I need to actually do this reaction at some point. So, let's... Like, I'm sorry if this is actually really annoying, but I'm having a lot of fun. At the very least, I can tell you that I'm having a lot of fun doing this. Yeah, we've been going for like 20 minutes. Alright, fuck this shit. Dark. Season 1, Episode 4 starts now.
Black holes are considered to be the hellmouths of the universe.
Okay, immediately going into black holes.
What other things vanish there along with space and time? Or are space and time tied together as a part of an endless cycle? What if everything that came from the past was actually influenced by the future?
This is the good shit. Space-time black hole shit. Is there a fucking black hole inside of that cave?
There you are, you stupid cow. Where is my fucking lipstick?
Oh!
Maybe those 2 upstairs believed your face and are fooled by your puppy dog eyes and your pitiful I'm deaf and helpless act. But me, I don't buy your bullshit.
Dad.
Helge. Something happened to this man and I want to know what. Tell me. For the love of God, tell me.
It has to stop. No. It has to stop.
He knows about the time loop.
More alarmed after a second child has gone missing.
What
An
age
11-year-old
is
boy from Wyndham named
11?
Michael Nielsen has been missing for 2 days. Please report any
Does it add up? It's just enough that it doesn't add up to Michael being 43. Yeah, he's totally going to the cave. Don't like this fucking cave. I don't like it. Dude, if Jonas time travels and becomes someone else, it's gonna be fucking crazy. Dude, if Jonas is the hooded figure, yeah, this person fucking knows. This person who might or might not be himself.
A web of symbolic metaphors and references are found throughout the novel. The phrase sycamores by the sea is one example of this plethora of symbolism. A special form of repetition in Goethe's novel is what we call doubling. That means the characters mirrored along.
I thought he was late, but he's not even in this class.
Begins at an imaginary
Okay.
center point. So then they branch off into two directions. There are several encrypted references to later events in this novel. Otelia's starvation, for example, is referenced in the 3rd chapter of Part 1 as her, quote, excessive abstemiousness in eating and drinking, unquote. This reference is repeated again later in Part 2, where we
Can I
find...
go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about you and your bathroom. I'm listening to the man giving me the information about what's gonna happen. I want to rewind and go back because I missed like one line, and I think that's when it actually got interesting.
Everything okay with you?
Are those birds multiplying?
Yeah.
Those didn't look like the same bird, but are birds actually legitimately
No.
multiplying? Are they being
I've seen those
teleported?
white spots on their feathers.
It's like
before.
multiple timelines, but they're actually
33
crossing.
years ago.
Uh-huh.
As if this all happened before.
Because it did. Dude, I think that's actually it. I think that's actually it. It's time, not only time and space, it's time and space travel, but then it travels within itself. But at the same time, it creates multiple timelines, but there's those all conversion to the same thing again. So you can literally have the same person just time travel into the same point over and over. And the town just becomes a fucking salad of bullshit.
Please go through the missing persons database again. And include older reports this time.
Older,
They
okay.
may have disappeared much earlier. Check for the last 15 years, okay?
Check for the last 33.
Anything else?
Specifically.
Oh, wait. That red soil on him. We can't match that stuff to any soil close to where it was found.
The hooded person could be Matt's, actually. Because I'm thinking, Matt's disappear. Which means Matt's ended up somewhere. Have we seen Matt's? Is Matt someone we actually know, is the question. Watching the show, I'm not even paying attention to what's happening. I'm just theorizing while the show is going in the background. And I'm only listening to when it matters. For example, when the professor was talking about the novel. That mattered. That's... Okay, we have someone.
Should I keep working on the tire tracks, since Ulrich's not here yet?
Tracks?
The tire tracks we found on the road the day Eric disappeared.
No, I'll take care of that.
I'll do it if you're busy.
I'll do it.
I don't know who that man is. Have we seen it? The fact that he has... I haven't actually thought of that. But this person... Who is he? And why is he... fucked in his eye? Because that's him. Maybe. Yeah. That's him. It's the therapist. Okay, so the therapist did actually knew something, I remember. But I don't know who... I don't know what he knew. We have a whole lot of suspicious people in this fucking town. Okay, something fuck is going on with this family specifically. We have Helge, we have this guy, and we have the kids. Well, I don't know if the kids actually mean anything, but one of them is deaf mute. Who is this person? I guess no one that actually matters. Just a bystander.
I can park here.
I want to know if Peter Doppler is a current client of yours? As in last Monday?
Is this a professional or a private question?
Both.
Does it really matter?
That's not necessary. I never forget a John or his dick. Peter's is slightly crooked like a dill pickle. Feels weird in my mouth, but you must.
So was he here on Monday or not?
The question is not if he was here. It's if he was here.
No,
that
he
is
hasn't been
specific
back in
time.
over a year.
Okay, that's
He
slightly
must be getting
better,
what he
but
needs
also
somewhere
bad.
else now.
Okay.
All right. We learned a couple of things about Peter. We actually learned more information than we needed about Peter. Okay, Ulrich. He's gonna sneak in. Alright. Because, like, the only place that you have in search is the nuclear plant and what's in there. Dude, you read some crazy shit. If it's the nuclear plant, forest, or, like, the zone where the nuclear plant is located is just filled with dead kid bodies. That is just the same person that they travel over and over and over again. It's just the same dead body showing up a million times.
The beginning is the end, and the end is the beginning. The beginning is the end, and the end is the beginning.
Time loop. Is this your bike? Okay, no. I thought it was the pendant that we saw. There was also a pendant in play at some point. But I understand that this dude is going through some shit, but at the same time, you're being creepy, dude. Red soil. Alright, so it's not time travel soil. Not necessarily. It could be. But it's cabin in the wood soil.
Yeah?
Guess what? The bird has the same thing.
Has what?
Its eardrums are burst on both sides.
So that's what killed it?
No. It probably died from losing its bearings in the air and crashing into the ground. The bird's skull was cracked. It happens a lot when an electromagnetic field interferes with their sensory organs.
High voltage power lines?
No, we're talking voltages in the radio wave spectrum, like electrical appliances.
And the white spots on the feathers?
The white spots. They started appearing after Chernobyl. It's kind of a mutation.
From the radiation?
I checked, but its radiation level was normal.
Interesting.
Yeah, quite a mystery. So anything else?
No.
Did Chernobyl create a black hole? And this town is getting fucked because of it? I don't know how... I mean, I was gonna say, like, Chernobyl is far away from Germany,
Hey, here you are.
right? Because Chernobyl is Russian.
Come, Grandma's waiting.
But at the same time, Chernobyl is kind of a big deal. Wait, their name are Doppler. Their last name is Doppler, isn't it? Ooh. Okay. Oh, that might be the place with the electric chair. There's a word there. I don't know what it says. You're being creepy, dude.
What's this?
It's money, you schmuck. It's my money.
Okay, it's just money.
Why do you have so much money?
But
You dealing drugs? So that's why you were at the caves?
None of your business how I earn my money.
What were you gonna do with it?
What am I gonna do with it? I'm going to use it to get out of this fucking shithole. Behind everyone's friendly smiles here, there's nothing but lies.
nobody's smiling in this town.
My mom figured out that my dad's really into dicks. Their marriage is done, but they won't say it.
The scene is lasting longer than what I thought it would be. Okay, I'm fine. We're back. Charles got a call saying that somebody did something. Oh, Ulrich got
Something?
into trouble because he broke into the fucking...
Elizabeth from school. I can't make it there.
How long has this kid been here? She totally had the lipstick. Oh, he's... Helge. Is it gonna happen again? Because I think it will. God damn it, she's not here anymore. God damn it, you're all useless.
We found him on our property in close proximity to the caves. He must have climbed over the fence. He wasn't exactly too cooperative.
Yeah?
Elizabeth wasn't there.
What do you mean wasn't there?
She wasn't there at school.
What the fuck? Did she vanish? Did she literally just vanish? Jonas walked to the point of the crossing or the passing and it was a dead end. And then he left. Helge.
I have to tell him. He has to stop it.
Does Jonas becomes a murderous, crazy person when he's asleep? That's a theory that I had. I don't know if I threw it. Oh my god! This fucking kid! This should be a Time Lord? What the fuck?
Who gave you this watch? Who is Noah?
That was Waller. He just found Helga walking in the woods.
What's inside the fucking... For Charlotte. We didn't see that in the past, did we?
We are searching for the thread of Ariadne, so that it can guide us along the right path and act as a beacon in the darkness. We would love to know what our fate will be, just where we are headed. But the truth is, there is only one path through all times, predetermined by the beginning and by the end, which is also the beginning.
What if Helge fucking dies and then he wakes up as someone else? Right now.
I have to stop him.
Stop who?
Give me a name.
Noah.
Okay, it's Noah. The person... It's probably the hooded person who just sneaked into Jonas's room and wrote something on the map for some reason. Wait. Okay, Nutman. Nutman. A little Nutman.
You must be Yasin.
Okay, Yasin, that was his name.
Noah sent me.
Noah sent. Okay, that's it. Okay, what the fuck? Somehow, after this episode, I'm thinking cult. Somehow I'm thinking cult. So this entire episode just... I went from time travel, space travel, multiple timelines convergence, everything meshes together, everyone loops back, everything is a loop, and now I'm back somehow at cults? Which is what the original cop in episode 3 was thinking. Oh, that boy with his metal bands is probably in a cult, and he killed a kid and fucking took a goat's hoof or whatever. It might not be a cult, but it sure as hell seems like a cult. Okay. New name introduced, new character, Noah. Okay, Noah. I don't think we know any Noah. Like, Noah is not a German name. It's almost a biblical name, because it is. Noah's arc. I might be overthinking that, but Noah. Okay, Noah. We don't know who Noah is, or maybe we do. The guess is that Noah is the person with the hood that somehow sneaked into Jonas's house, into his bedroom, and wrote some shit on his Mac. Okay. Noah, if he's the hooded person, we have speculated that the hooded person is time traveler. Sure. I don't know anything about that. Helga kept saying that the beginning is the end is the beginning, and everything is predetermined by what the beginning and the end says, because the end is the beginning and it has to happen. Bootstrap paradox, okay? It can't change, it's all predetermined. So there's no point to the show, why am I even watching it? Kidding. But yes, dude, this entire episode, almost the entirety of the episode was just focused on this one family. The mosquito is still flying around here. Dude, the mosquito fucking got all over my face, and that was bad at that one moment. So we focus almost entirely on this one family, the Doppler family. Is Doppler mean double in German? I know Doppel because doppelganger, and the title of the episode was Doppel something, but Doppler is closer enough that I'm like, okay. So this family, I'm seeing it right here, we have Helge, which is Peter's dad. Peter, who's apparently into dudes, or into trans woman, I guess. Maybe he has a specific tastes. Charlotte, Peter's wife, they don't really even like each other at this point, but they try to keep up appearances. Charlotte, the police woman, she really likes sketching dead birds, or she used to. Then we have Franziska and Elizabeth. Franziska, she's a rebel. She's more of an asshole than I thought she would be, even though she was kind of an asshole when we saw her in episode 1, but she's even a bigger of an asshole here. And Elizabeth, which is a deaf-mute little girl. Okay, we have that. That's essentially the family we focus on today. So I would say the main character of this episode was Charlotte, essentially. But we also did have Jonas. We have Jonas going into the caves. That's essentially all he did this episode. He left house, looking at the caves. He was like, "Where's the crossing point?" Which is what was written in there. He grabbed the map, he went into the caves, and then he found nothing. He found a dead end, and then he left. And that was the end of that. We also saw the bike, and we also saw like a red ribbon thing wrapped on the bike, which I don't know if I should know what that is. Maybe I should, but I didn't pay enough attention to that in the past, so I don't know. Alright. Sorry. Alright. Helge, crazy old man, he knows something. And he kept saying he has to stop. Tick tock, he has to stop. Who's gotta stop? Noah. That's the reveal at the end of the episode. And then we see another hooded figure who I think is the killer. The person that puts people into the electric chairs. I let's say killer. Sure. I'm not even sure if there's any room for killers in this show, but let's go with that. He was like, Noah sent me. Okay, Noah. Let's assume that Noah is the mysterious man, which he might not be. But the fact that they're like, Noah sent me, it's like, are we doing a cult here? Are we going to cult? Because it sounds like a fucking cult. Because he said, Noah sent me TikTok. Is TikTok the fucking motto of the cult? Because it fucking could be. Okay, if we're going to cult route, and if we're saying TikTok is the motto of the cult, then Helge was a member of the club, of the fucking cult, of the TikTok cult. Dude, I'm going like a million branches away from what is actually being shown to me but I don't care. I'm having a good time. Okay, fuck it. Okay. I'm just speculating. I'm not even talking about what happened. I'm just throwing wild theories. So, I'm actually going to go back. Because the stranger. Okay, the name of that character is the stranger, apparently, according to the credits. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to watch the beginning again. Because that was really interesting. Black holes are considered to be the hellmouths of the universe. Okay. Yes, we know this. Those who fall inside disappear. We see someone with a ball or tattoo on their back. And I don't know what the fuck that is. Could be a cult. It could totally be a cult. This is cult as shit. This is cult as shit. It could totally be a cult. Okay, where do people disappear? Okay, what lies behind a black hole? Where, when is Mikkel? Along with things, do space and time also vanish there? And we get to see the mysterious person. Or would space and time be tied together and be part of an endless cycle? Time loop? What if everything that came from the past were influenced by the future, because that's how loops work? Then we cut to Helge saying tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Okay, skip ahead. There's something I want to see. 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 Because if they're doing what I think they're doing, that's my fucking favorite. This is my fucking favorite. Give me a second. A web of symbols and references runs through the novel. The sycamores by the sea are an example of this plethora of symbolism. A special form of repetition in Goetze's work is what we call doubling. Okay? The characters consciously and unconsciously, skip ahead, consciously and unconsciously. Symmetry is a special kind of doubling. The repetition is mirror along a central axis. So the repetition begins at an imaginary center point and branches off in two opposing directions. There are several encrypted references to later events in the novel. Ottilius' starvation, for example, is referenced in the 3rd chapter of part 1 as her excessive abstemiousness in eating and drinking. This reference is again repeated later. I want to go back to episode 1 and watch the 3rd scene or whatever and find out that actually there is a reference to a character who's gonna die from a starvation in the future. Dude. Okay, so if this show is actually doing the thing that I love, which is just hide explanations as to what's gonna happen in scenes that don't actually matter, with characters that don't actually matter, in throwaway lines that don't actually matter, but they basically tell you everything. If they're doing that, that's my absolute favorite, and I hope they are. I remember Dogi Dogi Literature Club, which sounds like an awful thing, but it's a really good experience game, kind of. It disguises itself as a fun, lighthearted novel, visual novel, I guess. It's a game. It's a visual novel where characters, you're a part of a literal club and you meet girls and whatever. It's like a dating simulator. Except that at one point, one of the characters kills themselves, and then the entire game resets, except that character never existed, and then everyone is actually really freaky, and the game is bugged, and characters are stabbing themselves, and everything's fucked. And one of my favorite things is that there's this one line that happens in the first run of the game when everything's normal, and in the second one when everything's fucked. Oh, isn't it amazing when you're reading a book and then you think something's gonna happen and then something completely different happens and the writer just completely throws you off for a loop? And I'm like, yeah, it's fantastic. It's really fantastic. It's almost as you're referencing yourself. And if this show is actually referencing itself, I'm molto bene. It's fantastic. It's gonna be great. I'm not even sure if that's what they're doing, but it sounds like it. Because like I'm actually paying a lot of attention to a lot of this like lines that happen in the background when they're just talking about like symbolism, and they're talking about black holes or whatever, and it's like I want to read this again and again and again. Sycamores by the Sea are an example of this plethora of symbolism. A special form of repetition in Goethe's work is what we call doubling. That characters consciously and unconsciously. Symmetry is a special kind of doubling. The repetition is mirror along a central axis. I'm trying to process what the fuck this guy is saying. Because like, this is like being in class again. I was never good at school in general. Because I'm not good at processing whatever the fuck they are saying. And this is like going back to that. But I'm trying to crack the code. So the repetition begins at an imaginary center point and branches off into opposite directions. Several crypto references of later events in the novel. Utilize starvation. Yeah. Okay, yada. Okay, so if that's what they're doing, that's my fucking favorite. That's gonna be the best. It's gonna be the best. I'm getting excited for things that haven't even been confirmed yet. So this episode, I guess mostly this episode just give me a look into this one family, the Doppler family with Helge, Charlotte, Peter, Franziska, and Elizabeth. We also got to meet Elizabeth. They threw us for a loop by thinking that Elizabeth went missing, but she didn't. But apparently her boyfriend is gonna get fucked now by the murdery hooded person, not the mysterious person, the murdered person, that one. They're similar, and they might be on hoods together. We don't know that. But yes, the fact that we keep like this episode might as well have soft confirmed some stuff. It's if anything is leading us into a specific direction and then throwing something that is like, what? But it is okay. So they're talking about black holes, and this is not the first time they've mentioned black holes, by the way. They've done it before, but it was mostly a background thing, and I paid attention to it, but I can't really work with that too much. In this case, we have a character who maybe we didn't even know about, explaining what black holes, like explaining the idea behind the mystery of what a black hole could be and how it is related to space-time travel. At the very beginning of the episode, meaning important. Also explaining that the events of the past were always influenced by the future. Would that be fucked up or what? And the answer is, alright, we're doing this. Hard confirming that we're doing this. So, the fact that there is like a major focus on these characters in this plot makes me think that like it makes me think that I said it, I think, previous episode. I think this town is just like filled with incest. It could be. It could not even be incest, right? But I think that so that's the timeline of the show, right? Everything is related, right? So it could be that like people keep time traveling to the past and making the present happen, which makes the future happen, which makes the past happen, and the cycle never ends. There's also the thing that I'm thinking of, like when people die, they time travel back to the past, like, or time travel at some point, right? That doesn't make much sense, but at the same time, nothing in the show makes much sense. So I think that's a fair guess, fair possibility. Like, I don't know how, but like now I'm thinking of like Steins Gate. No, that doesn't make any sense. Like, Steins Gate is a show where one of the characters accidentally invents the technology for a time machine with a fucking microwave. They accidentally invent the time machine, and that makes it so everything's fucked, because he inventing the technology for time machine then makes it so, like, fucking, like, scientific spies from the future show up and kill him to take away the technology to make the time machine, and they kill everyone, and then he sends text messages to the past in order for, because they can only send a very specific amount of information to the past, so then they use that in order to influence things to move at a specific direction, but that creates tidal waves that make everything really fucky. Like, Steins Gate is fucking weird, right? Because it's a mix of sci-fi cool shit and like a visual novel, but it's a really fun sci-fi. And now I'm thinking of, like, what if the fucking electric chair is somehow like extracting the information stored in your brain and sending it back through time. And maybe you don't time travel completely, but maybe it's information time travels. And the information is all you need in order to influence things to go in a specific manner. Influencing the past, the present, future that influences the past in turn. Because everything is a loop and everything is connected. We just don't know how yet. But it could just be full time travel, because we've seen full time travel in Mickle. We've fully seen full time travel in Mickle and maybe The Stranger, right? So I don't know. I don't know. Also, during the reaction, I said for like a moment, if Jonas is murdering people in his sleep, but I don't, like, he's not, because we've seen him asleep and we've seen him at the same time as the stranger, and the other murder person has a deeper voice, so I don't think it's Jonas, but we still haven't seen his face, which makes me think, because the fact that they're hiding that person's face is like, I don't know where this could go, because it could go literally anywhere, but I think it's an adult. So money is on Tronte. I'm looking at this chart, and Tronte, I believe, is Ulrich's dad, who is a prick. Well, I don't know. I don't know, but like we saw him with like blood, and he was cleaning the blood, and it's like, what? We're just gonna move on from that scene, huh? We're just gonna do that. God damn it. I want to know what Helge knows, because Helge's fucking crazy, but he knows something, and I think he has sewn his ear shut. That's I'm deliberately closing my ear right now, and it's fucking freaky. Maybe it doesn't even work anymore. There's like, maybe his ear is erupted with the shockwave or whatever, and Jonas's ear get erupted, and like he keeps seeing his dad just dead, but still there. You know, that's the weird part. Is that Michael, who might be Mikkel, keeps showing up. Okay, we got confirmation that Mikkel is actually 11 years old. Okay? Mikkel is 11 years old. If he time travels 33 years into the past, that would make him... Yes. Yeah. 30, 31, 35. No, what am I saying? 34. Yeah. 30... No, I'm great. 40... Sorry, I'm thinking about multiple things at the same time, but it's essentially 1 year more than the age of Michael, which is 43, so it would be 44. But this is the thing: is that Michael killed himself earlier in the year, not in November, which is when this is taking place. I think it's November. So I don't know. Like, this doesn't confirm anything. It's just... Dude, if Michael is Mikkel, I'm taking full credit for that one. I'm just waiting for it to happen. Also, the letter. I want to know what the fuck the letter in Esgod was. I want to know what it says. Because I'm thinking that Michael is actually Mikkel, and then... I'm thinking that Michael is actually Mikkel, and then Inez actually got a letter, because that letter was specifically instructed to open the moment that Mikkel disappeared, so then it wouldn't interfere with the timeline, I guess. And Inez looked like she was freaked the fuck out by it. And it makes sense because Mikkel just told her, I'm from the future. He told her the day he arrived. And we don't know what's going to happen with that because we haven't gone back to the past. We haven't gone back to 33 years in the past, so we don't know what's going on with that. We don't know what happened to Mikkel. So the fact that we don't know what happened to Mikkel means that Mikkel probably became part of the town. He probably assimilated into it. So there is a hard chance of it being Michael. Based on nothing but the fact that their names are too similar. Well, actually based on the fact that Michael knew something. Michael fucking knew something. And if I time travel 30 years into the past and I'll have to settle for living 33 years into the past, but I didn't know how I got there, I would spend the next 30 years of my life fucking investigating how that happened, because I need to know, and maybe I can help someone, maybe, even though if we learn that it doesn't matter, if we learn that the timeline is the timeline and we can't fuck with it because everything is predetermined, which was explained to us today, then I don't know, like if I was in fucking Mikkel's place, I would 100% just do my best to actually understand how the fuck anything happened. And Michael knew something. So that fits. That matches, if you ask me. The power plan, it's there. We don't know anything about that. We're just waiting. I think I talk a lot. Like, I'm actually running out of breath. My voice, my throat is a little bit fucked. Because I talk for 20 minutes. Okay, let's see for how long we've been recording, because Jesus fucking Christ. An hour and a half. That's not too much, actually. But I did talk for, like, the majority of the episode. Because, like, this is the thing with Dark. Is that I'm not sitting here watching the episode and just quietly, like, watching and understanding and processing. I'm watching the episode, and at the same time, I'm throwing wild shit. I'm just throwing wild theories at the wall, and something's gonna stick. Something has to stick at some point. So might as well just throw as many guesses as I can, because then I can sound clever when some of them happen. Okay. So, okay. I think that's it with stuff we can talk about this episode, because I don't think a lot happened this episode, because we just got an insight into the Doppler family. We learned a bunch of stuff. Some of them we didn't want to know, but we learned a couple of them. Francisca's getting money somehow. I don't know how, but she's getting money somehow. Well, she's probably selling drugs. Like, that's it. We don't need to dwell too hard into that, because it might be nothing. She could just be selling drugs, and then she gets some money, and then she wants to go out. Like, that's it. It might not go that far. It might not be that deep. Charlotte got a watch, like a pocket watch, that said for Charlotte. And Noah told the girl that that used to be Charlotte's, right? I don't know. I don't know. Alright, we know black holes are in place. It's not only time travel, but also space travel. But I guess those two go hand in hand. If we're talking realistically. It's a sci-fi show, fictional show. But if we're talking quote-unquote realistically, I guess those two go hand in hand. But we have a black hole in play. Which is weird, because a black hole should just be eating everything. Maybe it already ate everything. Maybe the entirety of the show is happening from inside a black hole. Because what is inside a black hole? Like, that's the question. What is inside a black hole? Maybe it's... Black hole is a portal. Space-time. We're just stuck inside of the portal. It's just a never-ending time-space portal. And we're just stuck inside of it. That could be it. That not only applies to the show. I'm just talking about reality itself. Like, that could just be the meaning of life right there. But that could also be the show, because I was thinking of like a tiny black hole inside of that cave, and it's like, no, that would just eat the entire Earth. It doesn't work like that. The black hole would just destroy Earth, and it's like, yeah, but what if we're already inside of the black hole? And it's like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense, but also not really, because like everyone's living their normal lives, and this town seems to be the only town. Well, actually, like that's incorrect, because I'm assuming that this town is the only town where this shit is happening, but it could also be happening across the entire Earth. We're just focusing on this one town, so I don't know. It could be anything. I like and I hate this feeling, because it's like, I don't know. I want to know, and I feel like I know, but I don't actually. You know, I feel like I came up with so much shit that something is right, but I don't know which one it is. And that is what's frustrating to me. That is what's frustrating to me. Alright. I think we're done. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode of a Dark Reaction. That was a fun one. If you want to see next episode, it should be already up on Patreon. Maybe you can watch full length as well. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Check out the other links, and see you next time. Take care.